everybody, Chef Raji here. We're making Almond Joy today. Almond Joy is in your reader, but I wanted to demo it for you. I have a 6-quart mixer with a paddle. I also have a scraper, and I have a rolling pin. I have a ruler, which you're gonna need, and I have some parchment paper. So let's get started. I want to take softened butter and get this in my mixer. Make sure you get it all out. We don't want to waste any. We don't want to miss any. I'm going to add my sifted powdered sugar. There's a pound of sifted powdered sugar. And I'm going to mix it on slow speed. As it starts to get mixed in well, we're going to speed it up a little bit. I need to scrape it down from time to time, just to make sure it comes together as one. Great. All right, it's come together as one, almost like you're creaming for a cookie. Now I'm going to turn the mixer off, I'm going to add my unsweetened macaroon coconut. Again, start slow. Now we can add our sweetened condensed milk. It's 7 ounces, it's about half a can. I can go in fairly slowly. Actually better to turn the mixer off. That way you can get it all in nice and neat. It's not going all over the paddle and all over the bowl. It's a better technique. So I'm scraping it all out. I want every drop of it, because this is going to moisten this candy bar and make it delicious. And we're good. Okay, so my mixture has congealed, it's come together, and it looks beautiful. Now I've got to get all of this off of my paddle and out of my bowl so I can roll it up. And we're going to roll this like a butter block. Why? Because it will give us even pieces. We will have a yield of at least 32 pieces. And each one needs to be exactly the same as the other. All right, so we're going to get this out. Now, the goal here is to make it even completely. If you had a quarter sheet pan, it might work, but it makes it a little bit thin. So we could do the butter block method. All right, so we're trying to make it flat. I'm actually going to bring it over. I'm going to bring one over, and I'm going to spread it nice and even. The goal here is to get it 9 by 9. So I have a ruler. Sometimes you'll have to move the product with your hands. So I'm going to try to get it in like this. So I want this 9 by 9. There's 9, and I want to go up here to 9. So I want to go to about here. So I can actually fold my paper in to lock in. Is that 9? Yep, that's 9. So I can move it, locking that in. I'm going to lock in 9 here. Just make sure we go to 9. Lock it in here too. Okay. I have to flip this over, trying to keep it as flat as possible. Now I'm going to roll. This allows me to roll into the corners. Straight. So that each corner is the same thickness as the middle. That's important to us in candy making because this is expensive and time-consuming work, and every customer wants the exact same thing that the other customer gets. That's my 9 by 9. I'm going to label it now. I'm going to label it is Almond Joy. I'm gonna put the date, and I'm gonna put my name. I need to chill this now for about 6 hours. Then I can cut it into beautiful pieces and dip them in chocolate, and I'll show you how. Hey, we're back, and we're making Mounds or Almond Joy. They're the same thing with the same kind of filling. One is in milk chocolate, one is in dark. So I'm gonna open it up, and I'm gonna unstick it. Right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mark it 1 inch by 2 inches. And these are gonna be our little pieces. They're kind of fun size-ish. Okay, so we can mark. We won't have a lot of waste, so we're gonna mark it. The wheels really help mark, and it's a handy tool. I will cut with the knife, but it's really great to mark this way. We wanna make sure we eliminate as much waste as possible and make every piece count. So we should get 32 pieces here. I'm going to trim it all up. You can save the trimmings, roll them into a little ball, make truffles, but there won't be much waste, which is the goal for all candy makers. So I'm going to trim my edges first, and then I'm going to start cutting my pieces. You'll need a chef's knife for this. Nice clean cuts rather than a serrated. So once this is cut, what I need to do is to spread it out on a sheet pan so I can start dipping. There we go. So we have all these lovely pieces. Let's get them on a sheet pan. So possibly the easiest way to do this is to flip it out. It's the fastest, most efficient way. We'll get rid of this, the leftover. Okay. What I need to do now is to separate them out, because what we'll do is place a little bit of chocolate on each one, so that when I go to dip them in the bowl of chocolate, I have a smooth surface. So what I need to do now is take my little bit of tempered chocolate, and with a clean hand, I'm going to brush a little bit on each one. So bring it close, don't worry about being a little messy. Could you do this with a spatula? Sure, but the finger is efficient and quick. So it's not a lot going on there, it's just enough to give a little shadow. All right, already it's starting to set, so guess what? I can flip those over and I can go again. If they're a little bit wet from condensation from the fridge, good idea to dry them off. Okay, I'm gonna keep going and then we're gonna start dipping. Woohoo, we're back. Okay, dipping forks, vitally important for you for this process. I have my tempered chocolate sitting on the heating pad, sitting on a towel, also sitting on a piece of plastic so it makes easy cleanup. I've temped my chocolate and I've done my little test and I see it set and it's looking shiny, so I'm good to go. Let's start dipping. As you see, all of my pieces, ooh, I missed one. All of my pieces have been coated on two sides. This will allow my fork stuff to slip off the fork. See how that slips off? So I'm going to get rid of any little weird crumbs. I'm going to throw it in, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to pick it up. Check this out. We're going to tap, tap, tap so excess goes away. So we don't have too much chocolate on there. I'm going to go off the side, and then I'm going to place it down. Now, I'm going to hit it with the fork. I can do it this way, I can do it that way, I can do it however I want. So, it goes in, it gets flipped over, and I'm gonna fish it out. You'll see my bowl is full. Rather than have a big bowl that I have to dig the chocolate out of, I kind of like the idea of having a shallow bowl because it's much easier to lift this out. If I didn't tap, I'll give you an example. And I fish this guy out, when I put him down, what happens is he doesn't stay seated, and he moves all around, and I get these ugly feet at the bottom. So my piece of candy here should be completely covered. I don't leave it in that chocolate very long. I get it coated and I get it out. And I try to get it down nice and even. Nice and even, don't leave big feet. We make mounds here. What about if we want to make them Almond Joy? I'm going to dip an almond. I'm going to put a little bit of chocolate on it, and it's going to set. Then I can dip. Okay. So, upside down, oops. And back over. Oh, there's the almond. Still on there. Now that goes down. So, down, pick that baby up, tap, 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 off the side, and down. Let's do another truffle. So you can see this is quite easy. Dipping fork is really useful. I get mine from Chef Rubber. That's R-U-B-B-E-R, Chef Rubber, like the rubber, like your tires. He sells these kind of things. He sells all sorts of items to help you with your candy needs. Colored cocoa butter, a little bit of everything. So, check his website, chefrubber.com. All right, so if you wanted your Almond Joy in a truffle form, using my leftovers, these could be the tasters that you give people so that they know that you make good food and they buy your stuff. So I'm going to keep dipping, and I know you're thinking about doing this kind of work at home, so I'm going to let you go. Hey, the other thing I wanted to tell you is, at a point, these forks get a little bit full of chocolate and they get sticky. So one of my most favorite and vital tools here is a heat gun. The same kind that you find at Home Depot. I suppose if you didn't have one at home, you could use a hairdryer. Put it on the high heat setting, and it'll help melt the chocolate and keep things tempered. At some point, I need to double check. And make sure my chocolate's still in temper. So I would constantly stir it. It's down to 86, 85, 86 right now. So I need to warm it up a little bit. And when I warm it up, I would put the heat gun on it. Oops. I put the heat gun on. I try not to burn my plastic. So we get the plastic off. And I want to heat the bottom a little bit of my bowl. Constantly move it. I'm going to stir with my little fork, and I'm going to test. See, it's gotten all that stuff on the side that is starting to firm up. Don't do it for too long because you'll take your chocolate out of temper. So this is a good trick. It's on that heating pad, which is on medium, not high and not low. It's on medium, and I'm constantly going to stir and double check to make sure this is all in the temperature zone that it's supposed to be. So I'm still at 87. I'm at 87. I could probably go for a little bit. I'd like it at 88 though. So what could I do? One more go. It's hot. This thing is hot and it can burn you, so please be careful. Maybe a hairdryer, when you first start out, is more than enough heat to keep this in temper. You're trying really hard while you're doing this to keep it at 88. That'll keep it tempered and shiny. My chocolate's set up already. You can see it's set up and it looks good. I made my little Snickers. Ooh, I'm at 80. Ooh, I got to 88. See, it doesn't take long, but it's just a guarantee that your candy will come out beautiful. Okay, so we want to keep going, keep dipping, keep tapping off the side, and keep placing down nice and neat, right? So this poor thing on the side here, he's a mess because I was a mess. But then even my first piece was quite lovely, completely coated on all sides, which protects the filling. Almond Joy or Mounds, yummy.